Reef Show.
That Reef Show.
This is That Reef Show.
Is it on? Hey everybody, welcome to the very first episode of That Reef Show. I am the creator and host, Matthew from myfirstfishtank, and we are super proud to be working with our friends over at Marine Depot. That Reef Show is intended to be both educational and entertaining, with rotating segments each episode, giveaways, promo codes, and the opportunity to feature each of you members of the reefing community. A new complete episode will come out every other week at Marine Depot and My First Fish Tank, but we will also release some teaser segments in between. Every episode of That Reef Show is either going to have an exclusive Marine Depot promo code or a giveaway, but you're going to have to watch the episode to figure out how to enter. Take the time right now to click the My First Fish Tank newsletter and the Marine Depot newsletter below to sign up, because some weeks the only way you're going to figure out how to enter for the giveaway or to receive the promo code is directly through one of our newsletters. If you have any questions or would like to submit something to That Reef Show to be featured on one of our episodes, email us at contact@thatreefshow.com. We want to feature your jokes, family friendly of course. We want to feature your tanks, and we want to help answer any questions you have about this hobby. We have 3 special requests for next episode. If you have a good joke, anything related to fish, the reefing hobby, or the ocean that's family friendly, email it to us. We also want to feature your tank, so send us lots of pictures, short videos under 30 seconds, and a description, and give us permission to feature you on our next episode of That Reef Show. And lastly, next episode, we're going to have a Dear Abby type segment where we help answer your questions and find solutions. We're calling it Dear That Reef Show. Again, you can submit all of these to our email, contact@thatreefshow.com. Our very first episode of That Reef Show is chock full of stuff with 6 segments and a giveaway. You can always jump to any individual segment by clicking the timestamp below. So without further ado, My First Fish Tank and Marine Depot are proud to present the very first episode of That Reef Show. For our inaugural mail time, I only got 1 box, and I think I know what's in it. Let's check it out. Oh my. We got the Flipper Platinum Cleaner. They come with like a credit card sized cleaner, and then you never need to buy replacement blades because you can just use like a room key or a credit card or a library card. Number 2, I've seen these forever. Flipper, how did you know? How did you know I wanted these things? I don't have any of these. Flipper, it's like you're reading my mind. This is the Deep Sea Viewer. See this thing right here? It's also like an algae scrape. One more item. And sometimes you just need to take a quick pick if you're at a local fish store or at a friend's house, and you need to get rid of all that blue. So Flipper has a new item. The Flip Kick. I am super excited because not only is it a phone filter, but it's also a kickstand. I'm kind of going to go from most boring to most exciting. Not to say worst to best, but just most boring. So let's check out the scraper first. By the way, if you have anything you want to send That Reef Show, just shoot us an email. Contact@thatreefshow.com. We'll get you squared away. Well, as expected, we put the Flipper scraper to the test, and of course, it works fantastic. It's kind of as hard as I can go. I'm not the strongest guy, but it's probably the sturdiest scraper out there. And what I just noticed while cleaning, see right there, those edges are a little bit rounded, but if you look at it this way, that one edge is quite rounded. The Flipper makes these in various sizes for glass and acrylic tanks. I think they run anywhere from $22 to $35. I'll put the link below. All right, second up, let's go try out the Flipper Flip Kick. I'm gonna do both the 1500K and the 2000K lens, basically the orange and the yellow, and let's see how they look. Oh my goodness. This did so well. I love it. I think you can buy it for 35 bucks on Amazon. I'll put a link below. The only thing I wish they had, there's no protective cover for the lens. So for example, if I'm at Reefapalooza or Macna or my local fish store, I usually just have this connected to my phone because I just want to pull my phone out, take super quick pictures, and then just put it back in my pocket, and it's gonna get scratched up. So I do wish they had one of those little protective covers that I could just slap on there every single time. But I understand why they didn't do it, because literally it's just a simple magnet. You could pull it off, put it in its protective case, zip it up, and then you could just take it, and there you go. Last up in the goodie bag from Flipper is the Deep Sea Viewer. It's not here right now because I've actually been playing with it already. Let's go see how it looks, and let's see how it looks when combined with the kickflip. What can I say? Flipper, you make good products. I mean, not only good products, but high quality products. You can feel the weight in them. I don't have any complaints about the Deep Sea Viewer. I was not paid to say any of this, I promise. Flipper, I got something to say to you. Thanks for the new gifts. You guys are the best. Next up, joke of the week. Our very first family-friendly joke of the week comes from Raul. His Instagram is @GreasyReefer. Check him out. He says, "This joke is so dumb. I've remembered this corny joke since middle school." I think it's a good one. Here we go. What's the difference between a guitar and a fish? You ready? You can't tune a fish. Get it? Like tuna fish and tuning a guitar. Check out his Instagram, greasy_reefer. And if you have a joke that you want to be featured next week, email us, contact@thatreefshow.com. For our first product spotlight, let's check out the Kamoer X1 dosing pump. I totally almost forgot. It's our very first giveaway, and guess what it is? We're giving away the Kamoer X1 dosing pump that you just saw featured in Product Spotlight. Here's how to enter for this week. You gotta be watching this video at Marine Depot. You have to like this video. You gotta subscribe to the Marine Depot YouTube channel, and you gotta leave a comment down below answering the question, what is your favorite pump of all time and why? It's currently Friday, and this giveaway closes in exactly 1 week next Friday. So put your entry in now. You have to be 18 years old to enter and a resident of the United States or Canada. Oh, and do you want 2 chances to enter? Well, take the comment you just put down, copy it, head to myfirstfishtank, find this video, and leave a comment down below and subscribe to myfirstfishtank's YouTube channel as well, and then you'll have 2 entries. The winner will be announced next episode, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy your brand new micro dosing pump from Kamoer. It's Word of the Week. Our first ever word of the week is peristaltic. First of all, a peristaltic pump is any pump that uses peristaltic movement to transfer liquid from one place to another. The easiest way of explaining what peristaltic movement is to think of the human body, specifically the intestines, the colon, and the esophagus, because all three of these organs use peristaltic movement to move food and liquid through the body. The following definition is summarized from the Encyclopedia Britannica. Do you remember? Seriously, do you remember those? Our family had one, and that's how we got like all of our information was from the encyclopedia. Another time. All right, here we go, right? Peristalsis is the movement of long and circular muscles which occurs in wave-like contractions. There you go. In a peristaltic pump, this peristaltic movement is basically achieved by rollers that pinch flexible tubing, thus forcing liquid through that tubing. It would be something like this. If you just take a piece of flexible tubing, fill it with water, pinch one end, and then squeeze the flexible tubing and water comes out, that's peristaltic movement. Peristaltic, our first ever word of the week. It's tank time. You might be wondering, what is tank time? Tank time is the segment where I get to talk about my tanks. So this week, for the inaugural tank time, we're going to talk about all the equipment I have on my SCA 120 gallon. So I met Steve, I think his name was Steve, almost 2 years ago at Reefapalooza in Anaheim. And he works for SC Aquarium. The first thing I noticed about the aquariums were the stands. They had this natural, grainy looking wood stand that I'd never seen before in like any other tank. The most attractive thing about it for me are two things. The first thing is the stand, I love it. The second thing is the price point. You can still pick up this entire system for under $2,000, which is fantastic. It comes with the stand, with the tank, and with a canopy, which I'm not using. It also comes with the flexible tubing so that you can plumb it. It comes with a glass sump, it comes with a protein skimmer, and it comes with a return pump. The tank specs itself, it's 120 gallons up top, and I can't remember how many gallons down below. It has an internal weir with 3 bulkheads. It seems like a lot of the higher-end tanks nowadays are going with a rimless style, but this one does have a Euro brace. So if you're looking at an Innovative Marine, a Red Sea, or a water box, you'll see that the silicone lines are computer done, and they are just so clean. This one appears to be done by hand, so it's not quite as clean. One of the downsides of this tank that I have found and that I have replaced is the sump. I'm just not a big fan of kind of bulky, big glass sumps that don't have the baffles in quite the right place for what my needs are. You know, the refugium's not quite right. I don't really like the auto top off. So I got rid of that sump, gave it to another hobbyist, and I went ahead and purchased a custom acrylic sump, which I'll show you in a second. But enough about the tank. Let's start at the top with the lights. These are the Photon V2 Pluses. They're from an East Coast company called Reef Breeders. This is a 48-inch Photon V2. And if you were to go with some sort of Radion, you would need multiple fixtures, which would cost you well over $1,000. But I think, as of now, this 48-inch fixture is around $700, which, yeah, it's still expensive. It's certainly not a budget light, but it's probably about half the price of some of the more expensive lights out there. They're not perfect, don't get me wrong. My favorite thing about them is their sleek look, and I like their wide LED spread. The main downside about the Photon V2 Pluses is currently there is no way to control it with your phone. You have to use a Wi-Fi controller. It comes with a controller. It's not the easiest to program, but once you program it, you can set it and forget it. For heaters, I use 2 Eheim Jaegers, the 250 watt version. I actually just put them in my weir because the water line stays relatively high, so it's fine. So I now have 3 wave makers. The 2 wave makers that I have, that I've had since the beginning, I love. Again, it's from the company called Reef Breeders out of the East Coast. Logan's the owner there. And they're the RP-Ms. I think they're still like only $130 a piece for a pump that puts out 2,500 gallons per hour. That's pretty impressive. I currently have 2 of the RP-Ms, one on the back on each side, and they circulate the water in this direction. but I needed another pump to be able to circulate the water from side to side. So for that, I recently got the Max Spec Gyre 330 with the controller. It is a beast. I have it on the opposite end, and it puts out so much flow that I actually can't run it at 100%. The last piece of equipment I use on the top is this Toonsy Aquawind. I like it, but it doesn't work for what I want it for, because check it out, look at this. See this mount? It has to go on the edge, but if you have a Eurobrace system like I do, it just doesn't work, so I literally have to just lean it on here. It's very quiet, so that's a good thing, but it doesn't put out a lot of flow. So if you really need to cool your tank down a couple degrees in a hot desert summer like here, this probably won't do it by itself. I use this and another fan, which is a lot stronger, in my sump. Let's start with my filtration method, okay? The SCA PMP system came drilled with 3 bulkheads, so I decided to go with the Herbie style, which has an emergency overflow, a primary overflow, and a return. This is my second attempt ever at hard plumbing. The first attempt was okay, but I learned a lot from it. So what I used here, that's blue Schedule 40 PVC. A few different places sell them. And then for like all the elbows and the T's, I use Schedule 80 primarily because I like that gray color. And then I use the really, really expensive unions, gate valves, so on and so forth, all Schedule 80. Again, I like that color. Probably the total cost, if I remember, of doing this entire hard plumbing job myself, $200 and $300, but I made a lot of mistakes along the way. The sump I use in my 120 gallon is called the Leviathan Reef 40, and it's from another East Coast company called Acrylic Habitats. Your first stage back here is your overflow stage, then it goes over into your filter sock, through your filter sock into the large protein skimmer reactor stage, over to a refugium stage, then again over into a bubble trap, and then you have your return pump. And it also comes with an additional auto top-off reservoir, which is awesome. It's really well done. Look, they even did a little custom job for me. Can you see it there? Is it going to focus? Look at that, my first fish tank. No complaints about this. I think these retail for somewhere around $500 or $600. They also do a lot of custom jobs as well. Skimmer, I just use the SCA skimmer that came with the system. It is not my favorite, but it works. It does a decent job, came with the pump. The really kind of crappy thing about it that I'm not loving is this right here. So the connector, how you connect it down to here, is just really janky and pops out all the time. And this adjustment knob, look at this, when you pull it out, it just comes out. So you can't actually tell how far open it is, how far closed it is. It gets knocked out frequently, so it's not my favorite, but you know what? It does the job and it works just fine. I have a manifold, so I actually use, which one? This manifold spot right here to run the reactor. Let me see if I can reach for it. Hold on one second, ready? Oh my goodness. It's currently running, and it has GFO in there. That's really heavy. For refugium lights, I couldn't tell you what these are. They're some sort of Chinese-made grow light that I got on Amazon. They come in these 3 black strips. You can adjust them for blues, reds, whites. $25, I think they were. They do the job just fine. For my return pump, I go with this J-bow pump. Now, you might be wondering, why would you go with a J-bow pump and not something like a Vectra or something more fancy? And the reason is I try to use a lot of products that beginners could use that don't have a lot of money. And it only comes in at like $130, so you can actually save quite a bit of money going with a J-bow pump, and they're just fine. This is the Toonsy Osmolator Auto Top-Off unit. I have the auto top-off pump in there. The other section right here, which is both the float valve, which tells you when the water level gets too high, and then it has the optical eye, which is what activates it to begin with. I have had this set up for 5 years, and this little pump has never gone out. It's $200. I 100% recommend this for anybody. Are you ready for my last piece of equipment? It's not fancy. It is the Holmes Blizzard. But using this little guy, I have it connected to my aquarium controller, and I go like this. Watch. I take it, and I rest it on top of the lights. This, combined with the Toonsy Aquawind, reduces my tank temperature by 2 degrees. So it's ugly, but it works just fine. Last up is my custom-made plywood spray painted control board. I don't have any woodworking skills, so I just had some extra plywood lying around, and I just put it together and I made this control board really just as a place to hide all the wires, and I was able to mount controllers on here. So, starting over here, this is the J-Bow return pump controller. This is the Tunes osmolator controller for the water level. Then I have my two RP-Ms right here. This is the Gyre 330 controller. I always recommend this Bayite temperature controller, and I've had this Bayite now for a couple years, and it hasn't crapped out on me yet. You know something? I didn't realize how much equipment I had in the SCA 120 gallon, but that's it. First tank time, done. And the sixth and final segment for our very first episode of That Reef Show is Tank of the Week with Darren at Rogue Aquariums. If you'd like your tank featured, you can send us an email, contact@thatreefshow.com. In it, give us some pictures. If you'd like to send us some short videos, that'd be great, and then a description, and you could be the next Tank of the Week feature. Well, for our inaugural Tank of the Week, we have a tank that's lovingly referred to as the Kraken by its owner, Darren. It's a 600-gallon display tank. There's this black bar down the center. That's a spray bar, and it's designed to keep detritus from accumulating in the center and pushing it to the edges. The sump is 218 gallons. He uses 3 Ecotech Vectra L1s. He has a huge mixing station, which is made up of 2 100-gallon reservoirs. For his light rack, it's custom made again. He has a ton of lights. He has 4 Kessel AP700s with 4 Reef Bright Supra T5 4-foot fixtures. Not only that, he also has 2 times 8-foot Reef Bright XHO LEDs. Be sure to check out Darren's The Kraken Tank. Find him on Instagram at Rogue Aquariums, and on YouTube, type in Rogue Aquariums. That's it. We did it. The very first episode of That Reef Show is done. A very special thanks to both Marine Depot and Flipper for providing some of the products you saw featured today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Marine Depot and My First Fish Tank, and sign up for those newsletters so you don't miss out on any of the promo codes or giveaways in upcoming episodes. And please, please, please feel free to email us with any comments or suggestions at contact@thatreefshow.com. With that, happy reefing, everybody. Be kind to your neighbor. We'll see you next episode.